Hi, garden friends. Miss Betsy here from the Fabian School Garden, and I come to you from my backyard with a really exciting thing today. We are going to do a food scrap experiment, scientists. So, are you ready for an adventure? Come on, let's go. Now, there are a few materials we're going to need for this experiment. And the great news is, you can find them in your very own kitchen. You're going to need some veggies. And that's where we're going to find our food scraps. I have a few different veggies today. If you know what this is, say it in 3, 2, 1. That's right, it's lettuce. Next up, if you know it, say it. You're right, green onion. And finally, whisper it to me. That's right, it's a potato. You're also going to need a few little containers. You'll need a little water. And most importantly of all, you're going to need a guardian that you live with to help you with this experiment. They're going to be the ones to help you choose what vegetables to use and to guide you as you do science. Now that we have the materials we need for our science experiment, I'm going to tell you how to take food scraps and do this experiment. First, you'll take your lettuce. Are you ready? Oh, get those muscles going. We're going to tear off the bottom of the lettuce in 3, 2, 1. Woo! Now this part is what I'm going to use to make a salad for dinner tonight. I'm going to set it aside in this little colander so I can wash it later. And the little end of the lettuce, the part that we usually put in our compost bin for the worms to eat, this part we're going to use for science. Next up, we're going to take our green onions. And do you think we're going to do a similar thing with our green onions? You're absolutely right. I love green onions. I love to cook with them. I put them in salads sometimes. All kinds of good stuff. So I'm going to break off the bottom of my green onion. And this part, where do you think I'm going to put it? Yeah, over with my lettuce to use later in some meals. Yum. You can go ahead and pop off as many green onions as you want. You could just do this with one green onion if you want. I think I'm going to use 3 or 4 or maybe 5 green onions for this experiment. And next up, let's look at this potato. This one has been hanging around my counter for a while. I kind of forgot to eat it, to be honest with you. And when I came back to it, I noticed that those little places on the potato that look almost like a little smiley face, some people call them the eye of the potato, those are starting to produce something, scientists. You're absolutely right. They're starting to sprout. Little stems and leaves are coming, and I think pretty soon these little white hairs might turn into roots. So I know that this potato is probably ready to go. Okay, next up, we're going to take our food scraps and place them in the containers. Here's an important tip. Make sure that the part of the plant that used to have roots, do you think the top of the lettuce grows roots or the bottom of the lettuce? Yeah, that right circular white area right there. Yeah, that kind of circle on the bottom of the lettuce plant is where the roots used to grow out. So we want to take that plant and place it root side down in a container. With a potato, you can see where the little leaves are starting to grow up. So maybe do you think the leaves want to grow up towards the sun or down towards the earth? I think you're right. Up towards the sun. So those little shoots are growing up. So I'm going to put it in the container like that. And then with the green onions, what part of the plant do you think this is right here? I knew you'd know it. It's the roots, right? Do those roots want to grow up towards the sun or down towards the earth? Yeah, so we're going to put them root side down into the little jar. And I'm going to do that with all my green onion scraps. Our next step is to fill the containers about halfway up with water. So take your container, take your water. Tell me when to stop. All right, good job. Here goes the potato. Tell me when to stop. Good job. And finally, here are the green onions. Tell me when to stop. Great. What do you think comes next? If you were a little plant trying to grow and you're absorbing that water, what else do you need? I'm going to give you a hint. It's big. It's yellow. We see it up in the sky. Scientists, you are so awesome. You're right, we need sunlight. So where should you put these in your kitchen as you watch them grow? Yeah, in a windowsill. I think that's a great idea. And another thing that's really important, you want to change the water every 2 to 3 days. If you were a plant, would you want fresh water every 2 or 3 days? Yeah, so would I. Nice job. So that's really how you can take care of these experiments and watch them grow. Before I let you go, what am I going to give you? That's right, your garden challenge. Here it is. I want you to ask one of your guardians to do a food scrap experiment along with you in your very own kitchen using your very own food scraps. Maybe you want to try lettuce, green onion, potato, or maybe you want to try another kind of food. I don't know. But make sure that you have a guardian with you, that you place it in the sun, and that you change the water. How often? Yeah, every 2 to 3 days. Great to see you today. Bye-bye.